Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Triple B. Today I'm going to be sharing a video with you guys from a military analyst. His channel is called Christian Warrior. I strongly suggest everybody here go and subscribe to it. His channel has a lot to do with keeping tabs on certain terror operations and specifically how they're going to affect the church. But this video was more so in regards to a nationwide attack that is imminent on U.S. soil. I firmly believe. I've believed this for a long time. And he goes on to mention that Antifa is essentially going to be a part of this process, which clearly, whenever I started speaking out about the cartel connections, I thought that I had the smoking gun. Maybe there's a little egotistical part of me that was just like, I figured it out. The United States government is more than aware. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going after these cartel groups simultaneously and doing, quite frankly, a lot of the operations that they are. We are about to witness a massive terror attack on the United States of America. I firmly believe this with all my heart. What is this going to look like? I don't know how it's going to go down, but I can tell you how Antifa is going to respond to it. There will be an uproar of public support once these attacks happen. The support for Charlie Kirk's death is going to look like child's play. Just recently, a $45,000 hit was put on Pam Bondi, multiple other politicians, ICE agents, federal agents, police officers, and this is war. This is a war. We're in it. We're not going to have a war. We are in a war, and people need to just get with the program. Especially if you're in Antifa, because I know you're sitting here listening, and the reality is you don't know about these cartel connections. That's not a part of the meetings. You are being used. You are being weaponized because you are a cult. Every single person in my comment feed going, I'm an Antifa. We're not an organization. We're not planning an attack. No, you're just one of the retards they're going to piggyback off of. Hundreds, if not thousands of Americans are going to die. And people like me who are part of the anti-fascist movement are fully culpable in this series of attacks that is going to happen. When your parents are gunned down, when your siblings are raped and tortured, when your grandparents are shipped off to a camp, it will be your fault, my fault, Antifa's fault. So that's where we're going. If anyone out there is following all these military analysts, which a lot of you guys are, I've spoken to a lot of veterans behind the scenes, y'all are damn well aware of this. This is going to be vicious. This is going to be October 7th on steroids. Oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, he was never a part of Antifa. Oh, this, oh, that. Shut the fuck up. You fucking terrorist. And if you're not terrorist, you're terrorist sympathizers. And especially when those fucking towel heads come across the fucking sea. Yeah, I said it. They are going to gun you down. They are going to use you and they are going to discard you. You don't have to like it. It's gonna happen. And I say that what I just said with, I have so much love for so many Muslims in my life, but fuck these jihadists. And if you are a white person, particularly playing in this space, because a lot of black people don't do this. A lot of Mexicans don't do this. Most of the pro-Palestinian protests that I've seen, at least with my own eyes, it's all white people with literal towels on their heads, LARPing. Our situation in the United States is nowhere near as comparable as the situation between Palestine and Israel. Sorry, Palestine doesn't exist. Gaza and Israel. I don't even know what else to say to that. It's not. We live in the United States of America. We have our own set of problems. And one of our biggest problems right now is Antifa, because they are the gateway that these terrorists are going to use to bring in supplies, bring in weapons, bring in men. How do I know this? That's what all the ICE destabilization was about. Making sure certain people can get away, making sure we have app trackers to keep track on where federal officers are going. So I'm not playing around with this. Anyone in Antifa listening to this, you are a part of a fucking cult, and you need to get the hell out. Because the reality is, you're going to be labeled as foreign domestic terrorist very soon, as you should be if you are holding in this long. I'm going to help make sure that happens. We're all going to make sure that happens because we are done being terrorized by you. I don't even think I had this much flack leaving Antifa when I left. Now that I've gone public with it, I feel like I've left Scientology. You people are cultists. You have your views on religion, abortion, drugs, all this stuff. Fine, fine, fine. We don't have to agree. But to go and join this organization is stupid, and you will get nothing done except kill people, more people, because plenty of people have died. And the reality is you don't care because you're all a bunch of suicidal, whiny-ass brats who don't know shit. So I'm going to shut my mouth up now. We're going to listen to Christian Warrior. We're going to listen to this video. And I pray to God that you Antifa people haven't dropped off yet and that you shut the fuck up. You get through the video without commenting and you listen to what you have done, what I have done. Many of you are going to prison for the rest of your freaking lives because look at what you did. All right, done being hyphy. On to the video.
Now, again, the purpose of this brief. A widely followed analyst, Command 11, who we know personally, has posted claims of an imminent IRGC sleeper cell activation in the United States. Now, these claims include timelines for complex coordinated terror attacks and references to IRGC, Tren de Aragua, or TDA as you know them, and Antifa. Now, the U.S. government has not confirmed these timelines, and they won't confirm it if they do know. But we're going to talk about some of the other things that we're noticing around the world that might back up what Command 11 is saying. But the underlying threat intent aligns with what I have previously documented here on Christian Warrior Training. Now, the briefing we're giving you right now provides context for church safety ministries so you can prepare with clarity with your team. Let's talk about our key judgments. Now, key judgment number one, highly likely would be our imminent threat. Iran retains both the capability and the intent to direct or inspire attacks in the United States through the IRGC. Hezbollah or proxy networks are going to be the ones to initiate all this that would expand into a wider conflict. Now let's talk about likely. So we just talked about highly likely. Let's go down a notch and we'll talk about likely. And it's an elevated threat for us. Tensions in the Middle East are continuing to rise. The U.S. is repositioning, refueling, and bomber assets, and that suggests preparation for potential large-scale operations rather than routine deterrence. Now, if open conflict begins, activation of IRGC or Hezbollah networks inside the United States become increasingly possible. Now, we talked about that previously when we bombed Iran, that you should be prepared for activation of those cells. That didn't happen. In fact, Iran did call for Hezbollah's help, and Hezbollah denied them and said no. There was some internal battles going on there between Iran and Hezbollah and some testing, but I think everybody knew this was going to be a limited conflict and not an all-out war. If we do start something, and we're going to talk about what's going on in Venezuela because I think there is a connection there. But let's move into our possible and unconfirmed but reported key judgments. So let's go down to possible. This might happen. Right? We talked about highly likely and likely. Now, possible. This might happen, might not, but is a moderate threat for us. The IRGC could leverage transnational criminal networks for support. Now, from my counter-narcotics experience, for those of you that have never seen me before, I'm a 30-year cop, 20-year SWAT veteran, but I was also a narcotics detective for a number of years, and I was California's Narcotics Officer of the Year. I train narcs all over the world, from DEA all the way down to local narcotics and everybody in between, drug task forces, Homeland Security. I've had CIA, DIA as students, you name it. I had contracts with the Department of Defense dealing specifically working counter narcotics for everything under the sun. So I hope you understand my background. Now, the IRGC may leverage transnational criminal networks for support. That would be our drug cartels. Now, from my experience, I know that Iranian elements have used cartels before. Now, TDA's designation, that's Tren de Aragua, as a foreign terrorist organization and its connection to the Venezuelan regime make up a plausible partner, but there is no open source confirmation of a direct IRGC TDA coordination at this time. I can tell you that we know the IRGC has worked with drug cartels in Mexico and South America before. We know that. I know firsthand, having DEA and other sources that I can't name in my classes and agents working that connection telling me that's going on. But the government and I've railed against the government before on this. I totally hate our government. I love the United States, but our government's got some problems. They will never come out and tell you information that I'm giving you. Now let's go to unconfirmed but reported, and it does require monitoring. This is our probably our least likely. Command 11 reported potential coordination between IRGC, TDA, and Antifa in planning those coordinated attacks. Now, while there is no public corroboration of these links, his access to the Middle East sources makes this information worth watching carefully. I suggest you go over to Command 11's Twitter page or X page and give them a follow. Tell them that we sent you and just monitor what he's putting out. I think he does put information out that is worth monitoring and paying attention to. Now let's talk about background and supporting facts. An interview with a Joint Terrorism Task Force agent tasked with monitoring and investigating Hezbollah. You can look at that here on this channel here at ChristianWarriorTraining.com, or you can head over to our newsletter. We wrote up the whole interview. Now, he stated, this is a guy whose job is to investigate Hezbollah for the U.S. government. He stated that if the United States and Iran entered open war, Hezbollah and the IRGC sleeper cells in America would likely be activated. That is when the regime thinks that they are at risk of losing power. That is the key element there. That's why we didn't see anything on the last time. They weren't afraid of losing power. Now, limited strikes in the past, they didn't cross that threshold, but a wider conflict could. Now, when you look at the link between IRGC and cartels, in 2011, there was a plot to assassinate the Saudi ambassador in Washington, where they attempted to use a Mexican cartel as an intermediary. Now, Treasury has sanctioned IRGC Quds Force members for narcotics trafficking, and IRGC units have long been tied to illicit trafficking networks. Now let's talk about Tren Aragua. TDA was designated as a foreign terrorist organization in 2025. It is engaged in drug trafficking, human smuggling, and repression abroad on behalf of the Venezuelan regime. Now, this creates infrastructure that could be exploited by foreign actors. And again, we need to look at our current force movements. Over the past week, the U.S. has surged KC-135 tankers to Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, along with bomber and support aircraft repositioned throughout CENTCOM's area of responsibility. Now, these movements increase the ability to sustain long-range operations and signal that U.S. forces are heightened readiness posture. I just want to talk really quick about what's going on in Venezuela as well. Now, there is information circulating from educated professionals that are looking at the information coming in and going out. When I see us dealing with Venezuela right now, and wanting to topple the regime, with us bombing some of the narco boats that are going back and forth. And one that makes me happy as a narcotics detective, because I do see those gangs and the drugs just killing people left and right all over the world, all over our area of operations in the Western Hemisphere. But with that said, if we think that IRGC and TDA are working together, and now we're dropping bombs on TDA boats, what do you think is going on? It is my educated guess that the real reason why we're dropping bombs on them right now might be because TDA is working with the IRGC to hurt America, but our government can't come out and say that, because it would create panic. It would make people scared. It would make people afraid to go to work, and it would just create undue panic. So it's easier just to say it's counter narcotics issues, which that would make me happy too anyways, because certainly the cartels are killing us and everybody else. So if we killed them, I mean, that's just a part of warfare. That's just my 2 cents at the end of all of this. That is something that's going around in my brain right now. I want to share it with you because I just think it's important information.
Hundreds of men, women and children gunned down in their cars, homes and at a rave. Dozens more captured and taken into Gaza.
Just another Sabbath day in Israel, but we don't take it serious. I'm headed to the rave now, where we gon' get delirious. I'm meeting all my people there. Yeah, I know it's evil there, but we like our freedom, plus all the drugs are legal there. The music's so good, we having fun. The drugs are kicking in, but I keep hearing this gun. I must be tripping. I know I'm pretty high, but I keep hearing these cries. So I look up and I'm seeing paratroopers in the sky. They got guns and they shooting, so we running now. I can feel the bullets by my head, so I'm ducking down. My friend just got shot, she's bleeding, but I gotta leave, they coming. Man, I should have been with God's people, but I was out clubbing. Now I'm running for my life. I see it flash by me like, is this how I'ma die? But I'm a good person, didn't steal, I didn't lie. I promise I'll comply. I look up to the sky like, God, why? God says, you broke my Sabbath. You don't worship me, you worship planets. I've been a holy God since I began it. I'm trying to woo my people, but it seems you've fallen into what is evil. And I will not be mocked, you're not my equal. You claim to be my bride, but you are on the path that's very wide. You've been defying me for centuries. Now you gon' see me slide. Ask the people what happened. In the desert they just died. I kept them fed, kept them clothed, and they still wouldn't comply. But you are different, cause through my son I made a way. But you don't wanna go through him, so you are gonna pay. I've held my wrath back, I've kept the enemy at bay. You think that you are strong, but I'll watch you break like clay. You're pagan idols, you'd rather have position and a title. You deny the son and you will see that he is vital. It's a cycle and I'm done. In my Bible I have won. If you were my disciple, you would try to see my son, but you're not. You will stand before a holy God guilty. My bride's without blemish, you have been filthy. I've warned you to come back to me, and my spirit convicts, but you'd rather be free. You who are witnesses, observe what will happen to them. Hear you, earth, I am bringing disaster on this people, the fruit of their schemes, because they have not listened to my words and have rejected my law. What do I care about incense from Sheba or sweet calamus from a distant land? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable. Your sacrifices do not please me. Therefore, this is what the Lord says. I will put obstacles before this people. Parents and children alike will stumble over them. Neighbors and friends will perish. This is what the Lord says. Look, an army is coming from the north. A great nation is being stirred from the ends of the earth. They are armed with bow and spear. They are cruel and show no mercy. They sound like the roaring sea as they ride on their horses. They come like men in battle formation.